Американская фирма Transceptor Technology приступила к производству компьютеров «Персональный спутник».
So here's a skull. I'm placing the front marker to the front of the puppet's head and the back marker to the back of the puppet's head where the seams are. Now you want to make sure that you clear the circles for cheeks so you don't impede those. And then once you get a good kind of fit for that, you're going to take a marker and just simply trace it. Now I like to put the front a little bit closer to the mouth edge because it gives you a tighter fit for your hand. Add a little bit of glue around the skull and then turn the head inside out and put a thin layer of glue around the line that you just made on the inside. Then once they are all dry, I then fit the two pieces together, turn the skull inside out, and then just do what I did before is I matched up the front and the back and add them together. Now some people like to leave a little bit of a gap so that they could put polyfill inside the head, as well as if they need to install eyes and things like that, they'll do it there. But I cut the back, and I'll show you that technique after, but I just close it up. And that's a finished skull. Now for the mouth plate, I like to use plastic, and you can use bleach bottles. I've seen people use ice cream containers and plastic bins. Whatever you use, you're just simply tracing. Make sure you add the marks, the center marks onto your mouth plates, and then you're going to cut them out of the plastic. I have my plastic scissors. I have different scissors for this. So now I have my two plates. Now I'm going to add the inside color for the puppet, now for the mouth, and I have some Outtro suede, so I'm just going to cut out the inside of the mouth color. It's all right if the black is showing. It's going to be on the inside. And then what I do is I take the two plates that I've just made and I trace them out so I know where the gap is and I know where to glue. Just in pencil. It doesn't need to be a marker because it'll bleed through. And once that line is done, I then take glue and I put glue on the plates. I also put glue on the Outtro suede. And then once it's dry, I then place both plates on top of the suede, Outtro suede, and make sure that it's lined up perfectly. If it's not, you're going to get a crooked mouth. So you want to make sure that that's following that pencil line, and then apply pressure. And I like to trim off the excess. There, done. Now, once it's done, you're going to get hot glue, and I like just to seal the creases at the corners of the mouth and at where the Outtro suede is. And then I put a thin layer of glue on the mouth line of the foam head. And I do that twice, just so that it adheres a little bit better. Now what you can do is make a little gutter line of where glue is supposed to go and around your mouth, or you can do it just by eyeballing it. I also put a little piece of foam there for my fingers to kind of grip onto, and I'll add a couple layers of glue onto that. Now the plastic that I'm using, I don't have to sand. It has a texture on it that adheres really well to other things that I glue on it, so that's a plus. But you might want to sand it if you're using another kind of plastic. So I put a couple of layers on and wait for it to dry, and then add my little grip on the inside. And now it's time to add the mouth plate. Now I usually do the one corner first, make sure that's locked in, and bring that all the way around to the front so that it matches the center mark on the mouth plate and all the way around to the edge as well, and then seal those up and apply a little bit of pressure just to make sure that they're done. And then once the bottom, for the bottom plate, I'll do the center first. Sometimes it doesn't line properly, so you have to be very careful or take it apart again. And then I just simply run my finger on the back side and just push it out a bit. See here, push it out a bit so that it lines up perfectly with the mouth plate, and push those in. And there you have a mouth plate inside your puppet head. La, 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 la. And it's pretty flexible, as you can see. I'm just going to wait for that to dry. Now for the arm sleeve, what you're going to do is trace it out and you flip it like it says on the pattern. I did it on black cotton here. And I'm just simply clipping that on, and then I'm going to sew it on the one edge. Use a straight line, and then I do a zigzag so it doesn't come undone, so it's doubly stitched. Now what I'm going to do is add some glue to the rim of the head, and also, and this is important, wear your gloves, but also to the sleeve. And then match up the back and simply put it in. It might crease in areas, but that's the name of the game. It's a little bit bigger than the head. And once it's glued in, I put my arm in and then I sew it shut. Now, you can add fabric to the neck as well if you want to add a little bit more stability to the, and for the thread not to kind of pull out, but I just like to sew it in, and then I go over it with glue as well, some barge glue, so that the threads don't come undone. So I'm also working on the eyes for the puppet in a 3D program called Tinkercad. I'm gonna print those out, and it should take about 2 hours. What I'm going to do is trace the head, and just remember, if you're using fur, to follow the nap line. I'm going to trace out the entire head. Make sure it doesn't move on you. And then what you're going to do is you're going to flip it and use that flip line. So you make sure you just indicate where the flip line mark is, that center piece. So when you flip it, it's actually matching up. And I'll just show you on here. It's matching up with the flip line there. And once that's done, you are going to trace it. Make sure you don't trace down the middle line. You stop at the indication mark.
It's up to you. All I can do, I do.
Done. So there's your pattern for your head, and as well the thumbs. Now, because I'm using fleece, I don't have to follow the nap line, but if you are, make sure that it's the nap of the fur follows along with the thumb, which is upward. And same with the arms. The arms, you have to follow the nap line as well. There's also a shoulder side and an arm slide. If you want to indicate that just by putting S and A, you can. I don't need to because I know this pattern. So I'm simply tracing both out. So I have two of them. And now for the body. So what I do is I mark it out before where I'm going to flip it, because I don't want to flip it and miss the edge because it's on a weird angle. So make sure you try it out before, and you're going to indicate on the center again like you did before, and then just trace out the body. flip, flip. There you go. There's the entire body. Now there's a sleeve that you need to make for the bottom of the puppet, and you can also use this for the neck. I've decided to join the two pieces and not have a neck, so I'm not going to show that. And then what I do is I cut them out of the fleece, and I'm going to speed this up so you can watch.
Close to me. Don't let me be.
I wish I actually cut this fast.
It's tearing apart.
Done. And then I simply just grab the foam pieces and just put the fabric on top just to kind of get them all prepped and ready for sewing.
Red, red wine.
So this concludes part 2 of a 3-part series. Subscribe so you have more notifications.
The Creature Works Studio.